The best fat loss advice for the guys I work with over the age of 50, and honestly the guys in their 40s as well, is to give yourself double the amount of time you think it's going to take to get down to the body fat percentage that you want to be. So for example, if you think, hey, I need to lose 20 pounds and I'm going to give myself 6 months to do it. Well, the truth is you're probably going to need to lose at least 30 to maybe even 40 pounds, and you might even need 8 months to 10 months or even a year to get there. Now, sure, we can speed it up. We can get there a lot faster. But I think from an expectation standpoint, a lot of times I see guys who have a lot on their plate. You know, you're older, you have a really demanding career, family life, you have stuff that, you know, takes your energy constantly, and you go into a mission to get in better shape with the wrong expectations. So give yourself more time, because look, fitness is forever. I want to get you through a fat loss phase as fast as possible, but I just talked to so many guys who are like, man, I can't seem to get to where I want to be, and it's been, you know, this small amount of time, and I've lost a bunch of weight, but I don't look the way I want to look yet. And I think to myself, you got to set your expectations better, because expectations can be great. They can also be an absolute killer, because if you get the wrong ones, you set yourself up for failure. The second piece of advice that I would say is arguably the most simple, but one of the most powerful ones, is to hit a daily movement goal. For a lot of guys, this might be 8,000 steps a day. For a lot of guys, this might be a 30-minute walk with a weight vest on, and then the rest of the day hit, 6,000 steps. For some of my more active guys, this might be the 12 to 15,000 step range. There really is no right or wrong. The right movement protocol is the one that gets you to your goals. Sometimes we got to get out of our comfort zone, but don't overcomplicate this. I talk to so many guys in our program where they come in and they're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. They're like, well, I'm doing the Peloton once a week. I'm going to this HIIT class once a week. I'm trying to do this, running plan, but my knees are hurting. And it's like, dude, just walk. Just walk. You don't have to do more than that for now. That's going to get you 90% of the way there. And there's definitely variations of walking that I might suggest to make things more effective. Speaking of walking, there's someone walking. But walking is so simple. That's what I'm doing right now while I record this video. Now, there's going to be versions of walking that I'll throw in. But if you have a movement protocol that's non-negotiable every single day, like, hey, rain or shine, happy or sad, stressed or relaxed, I'm going to hit my movement protocol. This is going to really move the needle for fat loss, because fat loss is controlled by your food, which we'll talk about some strategies for that in a second, and movement. The lifting weights stuff is really for metabolic armor, as I call it, to make sure your metabolism is healthy, make sure your body can fight off disease and issues, and your testosterone is taken care of. There's all this other cool stuff, okay? But movement and food, that is where fat loss happens, okay? Now, I put together an entire summer shred checklist for guys who finally want to feel good again about taking their shirt off, but also long-term want a system that keeps them healthy, energized, and feeling their best. If you comment summer on this video, I will send you the link where you can just download it directly, okay? Now, fat loss as we get older tends to slow down. There's a number of reasons for this. The guys I work with in my program, my True Transformation System, which, by the way, you can learn about in the comments below or the description of this video if you're interested. Here's the problem, okay? There's some things happening. Number one, lifestyle. Lifestyle changes. A lot of times as we get older, we're just more sedentary. So we have the movement protocol to fight that sedentary lifestyle that so many guys just adopt because we're working a lot, we're in the office a lot, we're in meetings a lot, we're sitting and watching our kids play sports, we're sitting in the car driving our kids to sports. We're just doing a ton of sedentary type stuff. The other thing is we gain weight slowly over a long period of time, which then leads to a lot of weight gain. In other words, if we look past or we look back at the last 10, maybe 15 years, let's just say you gain 3 pounds a year. Well, that could be 30 to 45 pounds of fat, and it creeps up on you. And then one day you look at a picture from when you were on vacation and you're like, I didn't know I looked like that. Why didn't somebody tell me I look like that? Like, what the heck is going on? Okay. So as we get older, we have to be aware that we've accumulated more years of maybe bad habits, more years of being sedentary, more years of eating slightly too many calories, more years of drinking a little too much, of sacrificing sleep for the grind, and putting everything in front of our health. It happens. Now, the other thing that happens is testosterone does start to come down a lot more than it used to back in the day, whenever back in the day was, I don't know, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, environmental factors. We're not getting enough sunlight. We're eating a bunch of crap that has a bunch of crap in it. We're not lifting as heavy as we did before. We're not doing physically demanding jobs like we did before. We're getting distracted and misled by media and the news. We're constantly worried about every little thing. We're attached to our cell phones that stress us the heck out. We're not getting enough sleep. The list goes on and on and on and on. Nonetheless, there are amazing things we can do to improve our testosterone. One would be get your body fat down below 20%. Get your strength back up, which leads me to the next tip. Guys, if you're in your 50s, get strong, okay? But do it safely. You don't need to throw around, kettlebells and barbells and train like a CrossFit athlete. What I would suggest is relying on machines. Machines are amazing. Hammer strength machines are amazing. If you don't have a gym that you go to and you train at home, dumbbells would be my favorite form of exercise. They're safe. They allow for a lot more natural range of motion. But even though this video is about fat loss, we have to remember muscle is a metabolic powerhouse. We burn more calories when we're stronger and carry more muscle. So don't be afraid to train in the 4 to 8 or 10 rep range, especially during a fat loss phase. A lot of guys, when they start losing fat or they're trying to lose fat, they go for this like low weight pump, easy weight type of approach, which really is the opposite of what you want to do. Unless, of course, you've been training for strength for a long time and you're like, okay, I need to give my joints a little bit of a break. I want to switch gears. Then maybe I would say jumping into like an 8 to 12 rep range phase for a little bit makes sense before coming back to a strength focused phase, especially during a fat loss focused period where you want to give your body a lot of reasons to hold on to muscle and potentially build muscle as you get older. So don't be afraid to get strong, dude. Once again, I'm not talking about throwing 405 on the barbell squat or trying to deadlift 500 pounds. Those days might be over, and there's nothing wrong with that because as we get older, part of the game is staying injury free. So train smart, train the little muscles too that can really throw a monkey wrench into things if they get injured, like your rotator cuff, for example, your rear delts, unlocking more mobility through your posterior chain, making sure you're warming up properly, making sure you're listening to your body, not pushing through tendonitis or knee pain or shoulder pain. Like, don't do silly stuff that throws you off your game, takes you out of the game, and leads to a fatter, less physically fit physique, okay? Now, in terms of nutrition, oh man, let's talk about that for guys over 50. And honestly, like I said earlier, for guys in their 40s, 50s, or even 60s, this is the ultimate gold standard advice for nutrition when it comes to fat loss. Eat similar meals all the time. Get into the groove, okay? Eat less frequently. Have a lunch, have a snack, have a dinner, have a dessert. That's it, okay? Most days. Use fasting as a tool to absolutely crush your calorie deficit. It's so much easier to stay in a fat loss phase when you're eating 2 main meals a day and 2 snacks, and then one day not eating at all. Man, allergies crushing me, dude. This neighborhood. Man, pollen. I think I just walked through a absolute pollen storm because my whole face felt like it was swollen there for like 2 seconds. Anyway, whatever. You guys didn't come here for the face. You came here for the info. All right, so the nutrition game is that. Now, the other thing I would say is, as we get older, let's stop worrying so much about every little thing. Control your calories, get a decent amount of protein. I'd say about a gram or a little under a gram per pound of goal body weight, okay? This would be like your lowest ideal weight. Maybe eat a little bit under that in terms of total grams of protein per day. If you do calorie control, protein control, then you stick to whole foods most of the time. You lean on either more carbs, less fats, or more fats, less carbs some days. Either one's gonna get you there. Don't worry about which one. It's just which one you feel you're best on is what matters. And you just keep it simple, okay? The other thing I would say, and a lot of guys are gonna be like, you jerk, why would you say that? Now, I outline a lot of this stuff, by the way, in my Summer Shred system. If you comment Summer in this video, I'll send it to you. But for the guys in their 40s and 50s, look, don't give up, okay? But stop being your own worst enemy, okay? Stop with the cheap crap, okay? The little apps, the little, the little apps that tell you your cookie cutter workouts, the little programs you buy for $50, $100, the little fitness 25-year-old coach who's charging you $100 a month to write a little meal plan that he probably got off ChatGPT. Like, dude, stop, okay? Your health is the ultimate asset. Why do you treat it so casually? Why do you go, oh, I'm gonna buy my dream car, but body-wise, I'm not investing in that. Or if you do invest in things, you're investing in peptides at $500 a month. You're looking at TRT at $200 a month. The next thing you know, you're dropping $1,000 a month on supplements, but yet you're 30% body fat. Doesn't make any sense. Now, once again, I'm not here to make you mad. I'm just here to make you realize that what you're probably lacking in your life as we get older, because as men, we tend to isolate more and more and more. Yeah, we might have like our little friend group from high school or college or work or whatever that we get together with from time to time. But as men, we tend to isolate and we tend to suffer in silence. And we don't surround ourselves with good influences. Typically, we surround ourselves with poor influences. We drink too much sometimes. We get attached to our phones, or we dive into work. We're like, man, I got to make more and more and more. And like, I need 2 vacation homes, and I want to buy a boat this year and a new truck. And like, I want my wife to have all the stuff she wants. And I want my kids to have, 13 baseball bats and 10 pairs of cleats. And like, listen, I'm not here to say don't do those things. That's totally up to you, what you decide to do with your resources, but stop chasing silver bullets, all right? Do an audit of the things you waste time on and resources on, and start to pour back into your health with getting into better environments, more accountability, get guys in your corner, get your fight club set up. That's really the goal here. Get your corner team, the guys who are not gonna let you slip. As we get older, man, that's one area of life that we just don't have. We don't have the support team that we need. Because as young men, I'm in my 40s now, and as a young 20-something, every one of my friends wanted to be ripped and rich. And we chased things we shouldn't have chased. But as we get older, man, we tend to have our priorities a little bit better in check, hopefully. We value family. We value financial success. If you're a guy like me, you value your faith, my workout and worship music hat. But for some reason, we don't value fitness. And we want it. We have the desire. We're like, yeah, I want to be in shape. Yeah, I want to have lower body fat. Yeah, I want to have muscle and tone and definition and good health, but we don't put any time and money into it. We don't put any resources into it, which is why we struggle. So anyway, I say all that to say, find your tribe. Maybe that's with me. Maybe that's with us. I don't know. But find your tribe. Find someone who can be that mentor for you, that rock for you. Don't be ashamed to say like, dude, I need better people in my corner. that helps a lot. I'm telling you, man, it helps a lot. But follow the systems that I put in place. And if you want more, you can check out the description or the link, and we can set up a time to connect or chat. And then download the Summer Shred Guide. Just comment Summer on this video and I'll send it over to you. And hope this one helps. Life moves fast. Make it count. Peace.